Hello footy fans, welcome to another episode of the Ultimate AFL Preview Show for 2017. This is the show where I preview every game of every round. Now in today's episode I'm previewing round 5, the Anzac round, which stretches from Friday right out to Tuesday. It is a massive round of footy, so let's not waste any time. Let's get straight in to previewing round 5. Round 5 starts on Friday night at the Adelaide Oval. The game between Port Adelaide and Carlton set to be a very interesting one. This game starting at 7:20pm local time. That is 7:50pm Australian Eastern time. You can watch the game on 7 and also Fox Footy. And, well, Carlton have won the last two against Port Adelaide. However, they were both in Melbourne. So they come to Adelaide Oval with some sort of positive form against the Power, even though it was back in their hometown of Melbourne. Three of the last 5 have been decided by less than a kick. So this could be an absolute thriller, although Port Adelaide have been in very, very good form. They took it up to the Giants last week, just faded in the last quarter. It's not going to be a walk in the park for the Power, but you'd expect them to win pretty comfortably. For the Blues' sake, let's hope they can just stay in the game for about 3 quarters or so, give some effort, and try and take it up to the Power. It is going to be a tough game for them though. I'm tipping the Power. I think they'll win. Saturday there are 4 games. It all starts with the standalone Saturday afternoon game, which will be held at Etihad Stadium between the Premiers, the Western Bulldogs and the Brisbane Lions. This game starting at 1:45pm. You can watch the game on Fox Footy. And, well, Dogs have won the 2 of the last 3 games against the Lions. A big occasion for Robert Murphy because he's playing his 300th game in this fixture. So, look, I think the Western Bulldogs will be comfortable winners. The Brisbane Lions have been showing signs. They even showed signs against Richmond last week, I thought. It could have been a much bigger margin they lost by, but they were just able to try and not keep themselves in it, but just kind of reduce the margin each and every time, although I think the Western Bulldogs will be too strong for them at Etihad Stadium on Saturday. The twilight game on Saturday is at Metricon Stadium between the Gold Coast Suns and the Adelaide Crows. This game starting at 4:35pm. You can watch the game on Fox Footy. And, well, both teams coming off wins in round 4 into round 5. The Adelaide Crows, however, have won all 9 matches against the Suns. Well, the Suns did break a bit of a drought against the Hawks. They had won their first ever game against the Hawks a couple of rounds ago after losing all the matches they played against them. But you would expect the Crows to be too strong at Metricon Stadium. I am tipping the Adelaide Crows, the undefeated Adelaide Crows, it must be said. And, well, you have to be kind of impressed with the Gold Coast Suns in their last 2. They have played some good football. Last week at Etihad Stadium, they played some really good football against the Blues and won pretty comfortably, I suppose, in the end. But the Crows are a much different outfit than the Hawks and also Carlton. They should win pretty comfortably against the Suns. Massive Saturday night clash between the Sydney Swans and the GWS Giants. This has become one of the biggest, crosstown rivalries in the competition at the moment. They've played some absolute rippers in the last couple of years. This game is starting at 7:25pm. It is at the SCG. You can watch all the action on Fox Footy. The first time these two teams have met since the qualifier last year. So you might remember last year these two teams battled it out in week 1 of the finals, and the Giants actually upset the Swans that day. However, the Swans did go through to the grand final. The Giants have won the last two against the Swans. I believe the Swans have brought in some players, including Kurt Tippett, who returns to the side. I think this is going to be a very, very good match. I don't think the Giants will get their own way. I think it will be a really hard, slogged match. And look, I think the Giants will win. They've been pretty good in their last three games they've played since that loss to the Crows. And I do expect them to win, although I do expect a really, really good game between these two sides. I reckon this will be the one I watch on Saturday night. The Swans and the Giants, 7:25 p.m. at the SCG. You can watch it on Fox Footy. The other Saturday night game is in Perth between Fremantle and North Melbourne. This game starting at 5:40 p.m. local time. That is 7:40 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. Like I said, Domain Stadium in Perth is the venue. And, well, North have lost 9 of the past 11 at Domain Stadium. So they don't really have a very good record in Perth at Domain Stadium. It's fair to say that. North have won, however, the last 2 against the Dockers. However, they have both been in Melbourne. You can watch this game on 7 and Fox Sports 3. I think this will be a good game, but I think Fremantle will win their 3rd game in a row for season 2017. Being at home, I'm going to pick them. I think they've shown some really good form in their last 2 matches. Of course, kicked over 100 plus points last week at the MCG against Melbourne to win by a very narrow margin. I'm tipping the Dockers. 2 games on Sunday, just like round 4, and it starts at Etihad Stadium with the mid-Sunday afternoon game at 3:20 p.m. between the Saints and the Cats. And this game can be viewed on 7 and also Fox Sports 3. Really looking forward to this game because these two teams have played out some really good matches in their last couple. These two teams drew in 2015, and then their recent one, which was last year, St Kilda won by 3 points. So a real thriller there that night. It was actually on a Saturday night, that clash. St Kilda's win over the Cats was the first since 2010. So that win last year, the first since their grand final year, the 2010. Haven't won 2 in a row against the Cats since that year, 2010. Going to be a ripper. Of course, Geelong undefeated coming into this one. St Kilda have won their last 2 now after a bit of a, I guess, sloppy sort of start to 2017. I'd be expecting the Geelong Cats to win this, although I think it will be a tight, good game, I reckon. And if St Kilda can keep it tight, then anyone can win. It's no doubt about that. However, Geelong is my tip. Final Sunday afternoon game is at the MCG. Hawthorn meet the West Coast Eagles. These two teams did battle it out in the 2015 AFL Grand Final. This game starting at 4:40 p.m. You can watch the game on Fox Footy. And, well, it was announced that Sam Mitchell won't be playing in this clash. So I guess we're feeling a little bit disappointed in the fact that Sam Mitchell isn't coming up against his old side for the first time. So, well, you're going to have to wait for that, I reckon. Well, in terms of this game, of course, we know Hawthorn have been struggling this year. They come into this game without a win. The West Coast Eagles have only lost the 1. However, that was at the MCG. They have a pretty poor record, it's fair to say that, at the G. And that will play in the Hawks' favour and maybe give them a bit of positivity coming in to this game. The Hawks have won 2 of the last 5, including the 2015 Grand Final. I think the Eagles will win this, although that MCG record is a little bit concerning. But the Eagles, I think they'll get the job done. Of course, the Hawks, we know, are in a bit of a slump at the moment, but, well, they've been a great side for so long. Unfortunately, a side has to go down at some stage, and this year is the year to do it. We move on to Monday night football at the MCG. It is between Richmond and Melbourne. This game starting at 7:25 p.m. You can watch the game on 7 Mate and also Fox Footy. This game has become a real traditional Anzac Day Eve clash in the last couple of years. In fact, I got to experience one of these matches last year, and I must say this is becoming a real success, a real traditional blockbuster. And Melbourne have actually won the last two of these, and Richmond haven't won any of these Anzac Day Eve clashes that these two teams have played. So really looking forward to this match on Monday night. Well, Melbourne have won the last three against Richmond. Richmond are coming into this game with some very good form behind them. They haven't lost a game. They're undefeated. And, well, I think this will be a good game, but I think Richmond will be just a little touch too strong in the end for Melbourne. Like I said, this is becoming a real good clash on the Anzac Day Eve. And finally, the final clash of round 5 is the traditional Anzac Day blockbuster. It is Essendon and Collingwood at the MCG starting at 3:20 p.m. This is set to be another ripping clash. Collingwood won last year's clash. In fact, in their 22 clashes they've met between each other, Collingwood leads 13 to Essendon 8. So Collingwood do have the better of Essendon on Anzac Day. These two teams coming into this match with similar form. We know that the Bombers have won 2 from 2, and Collingwood have only won the 1 from the 4 matches they have played. Of course, they went down to St Kilda last week at Etihad. I think this is going to be a ripper of a match. It is hard to tip a winner in this one, but I'm going to go Collingwood narrowly. And, you know, if they can fix up their, their goal kicking and play like they did against the Swans, especially in that first quarter, then I think they'll get the job done against the Bombers, who probably got a reality check last week against the Crows. They just couldn't quite stand up to the Bombers' pressure. The Crows' pressure last week. So looking forward to this one. I did also experience one of these last year. Even though it was a little bit of a one-sided affair, it was an absolute epic, and I'm looking forward to this year's edition. Essendon and Collingwood at the MCG, 3:20 on Anzac Day. And that is it for this episode of the Ultimate AFL Preview Show, where I previewed round 5, the Anzac round. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, don't forget to like, comment and share this video. Also subscribe for more content. Of course, I do the Ultimate AFL wrap-up show each and every week. Of course, next week I'll be wrapping up round 5, the Anzac round. So I hope you can join me for that. Of course, another episode of this show coming up next week to preview round 6, which is going to be another epic round. So until then, I'm Jacob. Enjoy the footy on the weekend, and bye for now.